the way that you hold yourself and the way that you project yourself says a lot about and leads to different outcomes in your life.
I really do think that law of attraction is a very significant thing. And I don't think that it's, I think you have some people that teach on it that teach like, oh, all you got to do is sit and think positive and your life will be wonderful. No, you're not ever going to be devoid of problems and all that kind of thing. But I do think that there's something to be said for if you're being positive and you're holding yourself in that way and you're behaving in that way, right, then that's the type of people and the type of circumstances that you're automatically going to surround yourself with, because that's what you're going to notice. You're going to notice the other people around you that have those same qualities. Right. It's like when they tell you, like you buy a new white Toyota Camry and you've never seen Toyota, you never really noticed Toyota Camrys on the road, but now suddenly that you have one, you see every Toyota Camry coming by, because that's what you're focused on. And I think that's the big thing, is people get in a habit of being focused on the negative aspects, and then they're attracting or noticing negative behavior in other people that's similar to their behaviors, and those are the people they latch on to, and then pretty soon your whole life is just this big, like you said, feedback loop of negativity.
Why is it that you deal with these people? My first husband was a narcissist. My second husband was a narcissist. My third husband was an alcoholic. Why are you attracting these people into your life?
Yes. And, it's interesting because I have a group coaching membership, and I also do one-on-one coaching services. And a vast majority of the women in my groups are people that are or were married to narcissists, or people that they feel are narcissists.
That's because that's what she puts on the ad. Are you married to a narcissist?
Yeah, I do, because so many people feel this way. And I'm not saying they're clinically diagnosed, because I'm not a therapist or a physician or anything like that, so I don't have the ability to diagnose people. And I know that these ladies don't have the ability to diagnose either, but looking at the behaviors, it seems like a lot of them are married to people with narcissistic behavior patterns. And that's exactly it. The place you start is, why are you choosing that person? Because until you understand why you chose that person, guess what? That's the type of person you choose again. There's a difference between being kind to somebody, which is something I was taught growing up, is being kind to people, and letting someone take advantage of you. That's two different things.
Right. So how do you get this? Because I think that the victimizers, as it were, are looking for easy marks.
Yes.
And when they find one, they can be very charming.
Oh, yes, they can.
They can be very slick-tongued. And if they see somebody who's holding themselves in a posture of power, that's why I originally titled this Standing Up Straight and Other Ways to Deal with People. But the idea being, they don't want somebody that's formidable.
Right.
They want somebody who's weak.
Right. A lot of times, like, a woman being empowered, women tend to think of that as, oh, I'm going to stand up to this man or my husband or whoever, and I'm going to say, you don't talk to me that way, and blah, 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 and I'm going to, like, forcefully stop everybody from, getting away with anything, and calling them on their crap and all this.
Call them on their crap. That's a big one.
Yeah, and that's not empowerment.
Sometimes calling them on their crap is just what they want you to do.
And it's not empowerment. You have to start to understand what your payoff is. This is the first thing I talk to people about. What's in it for you? What was in it for me? What was in it for me? I got to feel like a superior person. I was the one in control of everything, which I love.
Yeah.
And but it's not that I'm not a control freak still. I am. I mean, you and I have talked about this, but I think just being aware that you're that way and not allowing that to dictate the path the relationship takes, because you're more aware that you have that shortcoming.
Yeah, or find somebody who's strong enough to not take advantage of you.
Yes, someone who's not going to. You and I have talked about that, as we both have ability to take advantage of the other one if we wanted to.
Yeah.
Extinguishment is more effective than assertiveness.
What's extinguishment anyway?
We tend to think of assertiveness as the solution.
Right.
Extinguishment is essentially ignoring them. The same thing you do when. It's funny, my son's sitting here nodding his head about his 2-year-old, but I used to take him into the store at 2 years old, and he would lay down on the floor and kick and scream. And I was very reactive to that. I would yell at him and do all these things. But really, if you're practicing what they tell you to do, you'll do extinguishment, and you just walk away and leave him there to flail on the ground and wait till he gets over it and comes on, because that's how you don't give the negative behavior attention.
Right.
And it's the same theory in this case with when you're dealing with somebody that's narcissistic. I always say the first thing you do is shut down communication. So, empowerment we tend to think of empowerment, like I said, as almost like fighting for it or demanding it or some sort of assertive method like that. And really, I saw this post on Facebook the other day, a little saying or whatever, and it was something like, if I'm not talking to you, it's not because I hate you, it's just because I don't care. And I thought that's so true. Like, when you get to the point where you don't need to have that communication, or you don't need to tell them how you feel. How many times do we have people do that?
Yeah.
Oh, they need to know how I feel.
Right. Why?
Right.
I don't.
Well, because it makes you feel better.
Yeah.
But the problem is that's a short-term solution to a long-term problem.
Right. And I did that too. It's kind of like, oh boy, if I ever had the chance, this is what I would say.
Yeah. Because you'll feel better in the short term, but you'll destroy everything, and you tell them that they're getting to you, that they're pushing your buttons, and then what do? They do more of the same of whatever they've been doing.
Yeah, and what does empowerment really look like? It doesn't look like that.
Right.
What it does, it doesn't look like getting the really quick barb in.
Right.
What it looks like is holding yourself with dignity.
Right.
Realizing that you are beautiful from the inside and that you have a lot to offer.
Right.
And holding yourself in that regard, so that when that person comes and tries to push your buttons, you go, I don't need that.
Right.
I don't need you to affirm me.
Right.
I don't need you to approve of me.
Right.
I'm just gonna see you later.
Right. That's exactly right. When you have the ability to walk away without needing any sort of revenge or feeling anger or whatever, that's when you're really reaching your point of being empowered.
Do something to empower yourself.
Right.
You do something to control something that's inside your jurisdiction.
Right.
Instead of trying to make them do something.
Right. Right, because that's the frustrating part, is trying to control the thing you can't control.
Correct.
So, okay, well, I think that does it for this episode. So remember to keep embracing your inner awesomeness. If you're listening to us on YouTube, don't forget to click subscribe so that you'll know when new content comes out. And if you're listening to us on the podcast, please rate and review us in iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever you're listening to us. And thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
We'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the